Do not fear them. Do not fear any of them.
And I'll not share the name. I'll be kind, I'll not share the name. One of the big team affiliates of the big team contacted me. I don't think it was them. I think it was someone else linked to them who emailed me. It wasn't in the style of writing. And from Failsworth, and they were very, very unhappy with what I had shared. And of course they wanted to take offense to the way I had delivered my message rather than the contents of the message, because it's easier to scapegoat that way and easier to avoid what the real issue is that way. And what I shared last week was the importance of those in Failsworth, the Failsworth Independent Party, and of course the big team side, of banging their heads together and coming to a resolution. Because if they didn't bang their heads together and come to a resolution, my feelings were that Labour would win in both wards, and Labour would come through the middle in Failsworth East. Lucia Ray is standing against a candidate, Ms Charnock, I think she's standing against, and they would take votes of each other. They wouldn't definitely take votes of Labour, they'd take votes of each other. And of course in the West, the Failsworth Independent Party candidate, whoever that is, I presume it'd be Jane Casanelli again, would take votes of Mark Wilkinson. They'd take votes of each other, and the Labour candidate would come through the middle. And for those of you who want to know, my information is in Failsworth West, the Labour candidate will not be Paul Fryer, he's standing down. My information is that the Labour candidate will be Kyle Piffian. So Kyle Piffian is of course a Jim McMahon loyalist, a significant Labour Party player, and the Labour Party will mobilise and the Labour Party will campaign. And they'll campaign to take both Failsworth seats. Now, if you don't like the way I've delivered my message, I couldn't care less. Grow up. Grow up and grow a spine. You've entered politics. Grow up, grow a spine, and if you're genuinely putting Failsworth forward, speak to each other. And contacting me and saying you'll cancel your subscription, like I give a, like I care that you'll cancel your £1, £5, £10, whatever it is you pay a month. The Labour Party, there are plenty of people who during the 5 years have tried to pay me off in one way or another. And I'm not for being bribed. And I'm nobody's puppet. I tell the truth as I see it. Take me or leave me as you find me. And when it suited you, you've took me. But now you can't handle a little bit of criticism. So cancel your direct debits and you and all of your followers leave. I couldn't care less. Because come May, and if you don't sort your act out and speak to each other, then the only outcome will be Failsworth loses. And don't get high and mighty with me. Don't you dare get high and mighty with me, because you won't like what I do. And I'll show you what I do. And by now, people should realise. This is 2019. 2019 in Failsworth East was the first time an independent got elected. In the East, Brian Horbin stood, and you can see 1,347, and got rid of an existing councillor, Paul Jacks, whose wife was subsequently got rid of later on in the West. Anthony Cahill stood for the Conservatives and the Lib Dems. So Brian Horbin came out of nowhere with 1,347. And that's exactly the point, isn't it? They love me when it suits them, when I'm promoting them. Like I care. You're going to get rid of a £10 or a £5 or whatever it is direct, subscription. 1,347 Brian Horbin got in the East. First time an independent came through. In the West, my friend Warren Bates stood as an independent. He got 711 votes. Now, for some stupid reason, UKIP put up a candidate and got 325 votes. Waste of a vote. If any of you want to vote UKIP or Brexit or what's it called, reform coming up, run along. You're not with me. If you want to vote for reform coming along in the general election, you'll be taking votes off me. You'll be taking votes off whoever the alternative candidate is in Saddleworth East, Oldham East and Saddleworth, that we can get rid of the Labour Party MP Debbie Abrahams. A vote for reform in Oldham is a wasted vote. They'll come on their bandwagon and they'll leave immediately afterwards, having done nothing but split the vote. The Brexit Party did it last time in Oldham East, and that's why Debbie Abrahams got over the line. So here we go. In Failsworth West, my friend Warren Bates stood with 711 votes. And Elaine Gary, that's that inept mayor, you'll all remember, that inept mayor got in with 855. So there's what, 140 votes? 145 votes. My friend Warren Bates was very close. Why did he get 711 votes? You people in Failsworth who want to take the mick out of me or sign up to big team politics will get ready to pay big team politics. This is a document that is the statement of persons nominated. So at the time, you needed 10 people to nominate you, propose you and second you to become a council candidate. You can see Warren Bates had his 10. Have a look at this. Richard Darlington. Richard Darlington was the Liberal Democrat candidate. Instead of supporting the independents, big team Wilkinson, Mark and Kathleen, along with Brian Hoban, went and supported the Liberal Democrats. Not only did they support them quietly, they publicly supported them by proposing the Liberal Democrat candidate and seconding the Liberal Democrat candidate. And they did this to scupper Warren Bates' chance as an independent candidate to become councillor. Instead of supporting the independent, they went behind the independent's back, supported the Lib Dem candidate, propped up the Lib Dem candidate, and Elaine Gary got elected. This is an official document from 2019. So no, you haven't been putting Failsworth first, you've been putting yourselves first and you've been playing games. Well, the time for games is over. Own it. Don't get angry at me. Own it. We've all made mistakes in this journey, and we all will make more mistakes on this journey. But I'm telling you now in Failsworth, if you fight each other, if the Wilkinsons decide they want to fight Brian Hoban, the only consequence will be that Mark Wilkinson will lose in Failsworth West, and Lucia Ray from the Failsworth Independents will lose in Failsworth East, and both those seats will go to the Labour Party.
Do not fear them. Do not fear any of them.